Hey, I had this old laptop power supply hanging around that I'm not doing anything with. And I also got a bunch of regulators that I picked up from AliExpress a while ago that I haven't used. And I'd love to do some playing around with op amps, so I need a plus and minus supply, and I'm also just a bit tired of using batteries all the time to drive all my little circuits. So I built this little circuit here where you can plug in one of the regulators in like this, and then plug this in onto the laptop power supply and use that for my projects. So this is just a quick montage video of the construction of this thing. A shout out to the subscriber that subscribed while I was recording. Thanks very much. This is the circuit diagram that we basically have built on the board. Let's get started. I got myself one of these from JCar. It fits the barrel jack. So I'm going to solder this up. I like to test things as I go, it saves a lot of headaches. There's many ways to work with heat shrink. This is one of the ways. That's the barrel jack done. It works. When you're soldering things together on perf board and you want to actually join them up, you can kind of sort of deliberately bridge the solder by just banging a lot in between the 2 points. It's a tricky technique, but practice kind of will make it possible. Blue tack is a useful tool. Another technique with perf board is to solder wires. Sometimes this reminds me of how we do software code. Do a little bit, then test. Do another little bit, then test. This is the bigger cap. You'll notice I use the legs to connect it to the other parts of the circuit. love this little component tester. It was such a great buy. Now I'm using it to check that the capacitors are in place. Now I have these side carders, I wonder how I ever lived without them. Time for some more continuity testing. We're just going to systematically work our way along everything, and then if it's all good, then we can plug in the power and go on to the next step. "19 volts on the input power rails is good. Hopefully no magic smoke when we plug the regulator in." These are 78 series regulators, like 7812, 7809, 7805. This is something that Dave Jones would probably call a jelly bean part. Yes, no smoke. This one's a 12 volt regulator. Let's try a 9 volt regulator. You can wire it up and get a negative power supply as well, which is great for op amps. And finally, let's test it with a 7805 for 5 volts. A labeler doesn't always come up in people's lists of things to have in their lab, but I find it really useful. This label allows me to know where the regulator legs go. After playing around with the circuit for a while and getting some weird results, I realised that the capacitor I originally installed here, I'd misread the circuit diagram, and it was several orders of magnitude off the value it needed to be. So I've replaced it now with this one. Also, when I have some sort of power indications, I'm going to put in an LED with a resistor back down to from between positive and ground, so we've got a way of knowing when this thing is turned on. So now we've got the finished unit. At least until I find something else wrong with it. Okay, thanks for watching.